been single for so long, having a different man in my bed every single night. I first came across this on Twitter, and when I tried looking for the original video on the sister's page, I couldn't find it, which means that she deleted it. And when I first read this post, or it wasn't a post, it was a video, but when I first read it, even I got the wrong end of the stick. I thought she was genuinely fantasizing about having a different man in her bed every single night. But as it turns out, she's a book reader. She's a, a bookworm, specifically has an affinity towards romance novels, spicy romance novels. She outlines that in her own bio. And what her reference was towards having a different book, reading a different book every night, or enjoying the idea of a different fictional character every single night through, or, every other night, whatever, through reading a book. Now, romance novels for women are what porn is for men. Visual porn. That's what romance novels are for women. Women are affected greatly by what they hear and by extension, what they read. A romance novel, which is just words in essence, can be far more stimulating to the senses, far more arousing to a woman than actual visual porn. But there is a strong case to be made here that just in the same way that visual porn is haram to view, to look at, that literal or verbal porn, which is what is in these romance novels, is haram to read. If the effect is the same on the mind, on the senses, then again, I'm not offering a fatwa, but it's not a stretch to imagine that such books would be considered as haram. Just as men suffer from erectile dysfunction issues as a result of the overconsumption of porn, when he goes to be intimate with his woman, she is nowhere near as bombastic and crazy and, just next level as the visuals he saw on porn. And as a result of that, his arousal level is now up here, but his wife is somewhere down here. So he can't get aroused by his wife. He needs that next level arousal up here from the porn. And as a result of that, erectile dysfunction issues ensue. It's not so much of a stretch to imagine that if you overconsume and indulge, sister, on these romance novels that also stimulate the senses, albeit in a different way, but the end result is the same, that you yourself will also suffer from some sort of either arousal issues or romance expectations that cannot be met because your ideal of a man is a fictional character that doesn't exist. And the sister has alluded to this on her own page. She's got one video where she's like, men, and then looking like that, fictional men, and she's like so happy. That is going to severely damage your ability to take a potential suitor seriously. And with the greatest of respect to the sister, and I know she's going to see this, sister, you're overweight and you're average looking. You can't afford to be fussy in the first place. So already you need to be more realistic. But you've actually gone and upped the ante of what you're expecting by polluting your mind with these romance novels and the excessive consumption of them for that matter. Don't do that to yourself. Perhaps what's more interesting though is not what the sister herself has said, having a different man in my bed every single night, but the fact that it got nearly 80,000 likes before she removed it. It might have even got even more than that, I don't know. 80,000 likes, that's one of the most liked posts on her page. That's more likes than she has followers. Just to give you an idea of how many, I would assume, majority women liked that post, which means they can relate to that, which means they are consuming this type of content. Text-based porn is exactly what it is. Text-based porn. And then we wonder why so many brothers are struggling to marry a sister. And whilst this discussion is multivaried and there's a number of reasons for it, one of those reasons is the unrealistic expectation women have. Worse still, the unrealistic expectation average looking, overweight women have. If a man tells you that being a co-wife is sunnah, marry his dad and make his mum a co-wife. You know, this sister here, this Mona Bar, I've got a video that I made about her before and she went absolutely berserk. I didn't realize that I made a video about her when my channel was a lot smaller, and I only noticed it in the conversation trail in my DMs from her. She was pretending to be her husband. I command you to remove this video. She lost the plot. The second video I made about her, and I'll stick it up here in the cards. Very interesting video. One where I break down her body language with her husband, who, mashallah, seems to have more haya than herself, as his face is constantly covered, mashallah. And you know, I'd love to speak to the husbands of these women. Wallah, I'd love to speak to your husbands. In fact, send your husband my way. He needs a slap. He needs an online slap to wake him up a little bit. When I read posts like this, wallahi, the first thing that comes to my mind is that women like this are sexually frustrated. Women who speak with such disdain towards men, especially when they're married, is an indication of dissatisfaction in her marriage. Now, this might be sexual, or it might be hypergamous related, that she doesn't feel that she has maxed out on her hypergamous potential. Either way, it's an indication of a dissatisfaction in her marriage and is an absolute embarrassment towards her husband. Right, take her phone, rude boy. Confiscate her phone. Put her in the naughty corner for 28 days. Take her phone away until she starts behaving. And furthermore, get her off social media. She's embarrassing you. Don't you see it?
When your husband comes out of the shower, get on your knees and suck some positivity into that man. Then go sit him down, turn on the TV and give him something to eat. Hop in the shower and come back and give him some dessert. Too many women complain to me and they're like, he never lasts long enough. Now he will.
Am I from this planet? Do I actually live on this planet? I'm really starting to question Yani at this point. I'm trans-planet, bruv. I don't identify as coming from planet Earth. Sister, what's wrong with you? Yani, suck some positivity out of him, into him, on top of him, underneath him, or whatever you said. What? What? I already made a video about this, sister. I released it just yesterday. And I told you there was something fishy, something off, something made in China-y about this sister. I can't quite put my finger on it. Now I realize she's selling some book and some course or something, whatever. So she's got some dating website. I don't even know what. Something's off, bruv. But you are the husband of... And I want to meet your husband, by the way. In fact, you know, please have your husband DM me. I don't want to talk to you. Please have your husband DM me on Instagram. I need to have a conversation with him. I just need to check, Yani, first of all, where are his balls? Where are your balls, brother, Yani? Have they shrunk so much that, you know, you don't mind your wife embarrassing and humiliating you like this? We need to have a conversation, brother. If this is the case, I can put you in touch with some TRT specialists, you know, get you on some HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin, get you some Clomid, some tamoxifen. We can fix this situation. And if that's not the case, brother, then we need to have another conversation. And if you'd like to have that conversation, you're welcome to book a consultation with me. Link is in the description of this video. Because something is off, rude boy. When you don't mind your wife stepping in front of the camera, all right, and talking vomit like this publicly. In fact, you have more haya than her because you're hiding behind the camera while she's in front of it.